back to my kitchen for another series of Cooking with Core. Today we're going to be making a clam sauce, Core's clam sauce, and my variation of the way our family eats it. Now, of course, you know me with my surgical gloves. I have to have my surgical gloves on. I have already cleaned all of these clams. I purchased 5 dozen clams. They're the little ones. And I'm going to show you how I clean them because having sand in your clam sauce is just nasty. Here's the bag that they came in. You can use a brush like this if you're more comfortable with it. I like this one that you just put your finger in and you have a good, nice, tight grip in your palm. You grab your clam. Make sure that if you find a clam that's open, that you toss it immediately. That's a dead clam. You do not want to eat that unless you want to get sick. So you take your clam and you scrub the shell all around, right at the opening, in the back, everywhere, because these little ridges hold sand, and again, we don't want that in our clam sauce. So we'll scrub the last ones up. These are beautiful little clams. I'm so excited. I love this meal. It's easy, it's healthy. Clams have so many vitamins, high in calcium, which a lot of women don't know, and they're just a little superfood, low in calories, just delicious. So our clams are now all rinsed, scrubbed, one more little rinsing, and we're ready to go. In addition to the fresh clams that I use chopped clams. I like a very clammy clam sauce I like it meaty. I like to have some substance in there. So I use these not only for the juice. If you don't want to use this, you can use like a jarred clam sauce. But I happen to like these, the Snow's chopped clams. They're nice and clean. They're delicious and also so good for you. So we'll introduce that later on. Let's go over here. Okay, I'm going to start off by telling you that there's no set rule on how to make this or what herbs to use. Some people just like garlic, olive oil, and parsley, very simple. I like it Italian style, or I also like it with herbes de Provence, which really gives a delicious flavor. Herbes de Provence have really unique little herbs and lavender in it. It gives it a beautiful flavor. If you don't like it, again, just go with whatever you like. I'm lucky, very lucky, because a friend of mine who actually comes from France gets these herbs in France, in the mountains, which are grown organically by the monks, and it just has such a delicious, delicious flavor. Again, you can find herbes de Provence here. They come from France, some of them don't, it's fine. But this is a lucky get. Anyway, we're going to go to the garlic, and I'm going to give you a few options. If you use a whole clove of garlic, you're not going to have that very strong garlicky taste. If you slice it, you'll have garlic, not that pungent. If you crush it, you're going to have the most pungent flavor. So that I like it sliced in this. Again, that's up to you, solely up to you. As you can tell, I like a lot of garlic. Now, we're going to put our clam sauce today over spinach. So I'm going to reserve some of this garlic for the spinach, and the rest is going to go in for the clam sauce. You do not have to use spinach if you don't want to. There are other options, so many options. You could use broccoli rabe. You don't even have to use a vegetable. You can use healthy pastas. There's quinoa pasta. There's brown rice pasta. There's Ezekiel pasta. There's the Barilla Plus, and then there's this crazy noodle. It's called the miracle noodle. It comes from a root, and it actually has no carbohydrates, no calories. God knows, I don't know, but it's always recommended by Dr. Oz. I had it once. I just like my vegetables, but these are options. Okay, so back with the new surgical gloves, and I told you in my other episodes that I always have fresh garlic, all peeled and ready to go. I don't buy the big jar tub of garlic. I buy it fresh. I peel it that day. I use an awful lot of garlic. I'm the aggressively spiced girl. I like everything pretty bold. Olive oil. Now, again, this is up to you. You do what you want. This Kirkland organic olive oil I use a lot. But when I do something special like this, I use this Frantoia, which is an Italian, delicious, buttery olive oil that I just adore. So we're going to come over and put some olive oil in our pan. Don't be afraid of olive oil. You need a good amount to make this flavorful. So I would say a good 3-4 tablespoons. We're going to start heating up our pot. We're going to put in a little bit of olive oil here, just a little. You don't need a lot for the spinach. We're just going to use it to saute the garlic, a tiny bit more. So here we're going to use about a tablespoon. Now I'm going to finish slicing up this garlic. So I have about 3 large cloves for the spinach, and I would say I have like 6 large cloves for the clams because we have an awful lot of clams and we want the sauce to be flavorful. So our garlic is all chopped and it's ready. We'll separate this a bit. Have our spinach side and our clam side. Keep an eye on the oil. You don't want it to burn, just the same with the garlic. You never want your garlic to burn. I am going to coordinate both at the same time. I'm going to put the spinach at a very low heat to get that garlic started. And this one's a little higher because we're going to get those clams to open up. So you take a look at your pot. This is looking good. That's ready for our garlic. So I'm going to put all my garlic slices right in. You want to keep an eye on it because burnt garlic equals bitter taste and it's ruined. Once you burn your garlic, you have to start all over again. So you just want to saute it a bit, get that beautiful flavor into your oil. And we're going to get ready to throw in a few ingredients. What we'll do right now is we're going to grab the clams and throw them in the pot. So I'm going to use the juice of 2 or 3 cans because we want to get these clams to open up and we want to have enough liquid in there to make these clams all happy. What we're going to want to put in here is hot pepper. And again, that's up to you. I like hot pepper. We like it spicy. We'll keep an eye on this. We're going to add our garlic for our spinach in this pan. And with the enamel, I always use a wooden spoon. You don't want to scratch these beautiful pots. So let's get that cooking. Then we're going to want to add our herbs de Provence. This is another beautiful one from France, but I'm going to use this one, which was given to me by my friend Pierre and Teresa. So I would say I use a good 2 tablespoons of the herbs de Provence. We're going to want to use a little black pepper. So let's just toss these up a little bit. We're going to cover this and let them open. Now, in the meantime, we're going to take a look at our garlic for our spinach here. And in this case, we're just going to make our spinach slightly wilted. I made a spinach earlier. We also like it with chicken broth. So I made this spinach earlier. This is spinach with garlic, olive oil, and a little chicken broth. We like it that way. If you're vegetarian, you can use vegetable broth, or you don't have to use it at all. In this instance, the second batch, I'm making it just a wilted spinach, garlic, olive oil, salt, pepper. So we're not using the chicken broth. I use a little bit of hot pepper in this. And keep an eye on your garlic that it doesn't burn. You want your clams at a high heat because you want them to all open. So the less you peek, the better. So give them a little toss. They'll be opening soon. This is such a quick, easy, delicious meal that anyone can do in just a matter of less than an hour. You have this from beginning to end all set. So we're going to take our baby organic spinach, which I love. This is the nicest spinach. And some areas are really worth getting organic, and spinach is one of them. Spinach into this nice big pot. You don't want to salt it till the very end because that releases an awful lot of water. And it'll just you'll just serve to have a very watery spinach, and you want to keep it with less water. Add black pepper. And as you can see, this is fast, this is easy. Here's where my tongs come in again. So I can grab from the bottom, bring to the top. And again, we're not really going to cook this a lot, just till it's wilted. So we're close. Let's take a peek at our clams. Oh, some of them are opening. They're looking beautiful. So you don't want to overcook clams. You'll see at this point, we're going to close it one more time. They'll be all open in less than a minute. Oh, these are done. They smell delicious and they look great. So let's shut that off. All the rest of our clams in here, just to add a little more body and meat to the entire dish. Let's shut off our spinach because look, we've coordinated it perfectly and we're set, we're ready to go. And what really could be easier than this? At the very end, you know that clams are salty, but you want to add a little tiny bit of salt. Tiny, not too much. Let's give it one more toss. And it just looks amazing. I want to show you the difference between the spinach that's been really cooked down with the chicken broth. And this is what the wilted spinach ends up looking at like. Now before we take it out of there, let's quickly add a little bit of sea salt. Because spinach without salt is quite boring. And just give it a little tossing. And we're going to put it in here. So of course this is a little more green. It's got a little more body. It's up to you, whatever you want. I mean, my family loves it with chicken broth and they love it this way as well. So it's just a matter of what you want that day. So let's go over and I'll show you. So you'll put your nice bunch of spinach on the bottom of your, and serve ourselves a nice helping of clams with this delicious clam sauce. So simple, so easy. Look at that. And those of you who want to add a little more flavor, you can put some fresh herbs on it. You can put some parsley. You can put a little grated Parmesan cheese. It's a hard cheese. It's good. You don't need that much. And let's try one of these clams because I'm starving. Get a little bit of spinach in there. I wish you could be here for this. Try it at home. So easy, so simple, so delicious. Thank you for joining me, and we'll do it again soon.